So it's really important to understand. So many of you guys are just one paycheck away from bankruptcy. You're living paycheck to paycheck, and there's not enough, well, how does that phrase go? Not enough money at the end of the week, or week at the end of the money, right? And you're like, how am I ever going to get out of this thing, right? You just don't know. You could be laid off, and then what's going to happen? Do you have anything that you can fall back on? And I'm not saying you have to do land investing full time. This could be something you do on the side. This is something that you can use to supplement your business, to maybe pay off some debts. Okay. And then if you did lose your job because you've been doing it part-time, you could fall back into land investing and do that to support you and your family. How does that sound? Could you do that? Yes. The answer is yes. Take a look at land because it's so easy to automate this stuff. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you how to make offers. This is a lead that came in Park County, Colorado. And let me show you where this property is. I'm going to go, you know what? I actually have it right up here in MapRight. MapRight is one of the tools that we use to get parcel information on our property. So if I zoom out, this property is right here. There's Denver, there's Vail, there's Breckenridge, there's Colorado Springs, and our property is right kind of there in the center of the map. So from Colorado Springs, it's maybe an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. From Denver, a couple hours south of Breckenridge, but it's in kind of in between the valleys. There's a mountain range here, tall mountains here, and this area here, there's a lot of activity, people buying and selling land. It's a beautiful area, right? So we sent that neutral letter, and this guy responded to the letter and said, yes, I'll take an offer. All right. And it's a 4.7. I know this is really small, but just trust me here. It's a 4.76 acre property. The guy lives in New York, Baiting Hollow, New York. And so what we did is we pulled a list from Price. You said, in Park County, show us everybody that's owned vacant land between 1 to 20 acres for over 10 years who do not live in the county. And this guy came up. We sent him a letter. He responded to our voicemail. The letter said, please text or call our 24-hour recorded voicemail. We then texted him right away and said, hey, what's the reference number? What's the letter ID reference number? And he gave us the letter reference ID. We pulled it up in the spreadsheet. We found his property right here. And we said, all right, we're going to send him an offer. I'm going to show you right now how we came up with the offer that we did. He rejected the offer. We've sent him an offer 2 or 3 times because we just keep on doing that. We follow up. Finally, he gave us another voicemail, and he was very upset and angry and said, how dare you? Don't you realize where this is? And he thinks it's worth $30,000. I'm going to show you why he's completely wrong. That's what, he lives in New York. I get it. He's probably never been there, or if he has, he just has no idea. He thinks it's worth 30 grand. But that's cool. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. But what are some of the things I look for? Well, first thing I want to see is there access, right? And there is a dirt road. And I'll talk more about that in a second here. The next thing I like to do when I'm looking at this is I like to look at a 3D image of this property to see, is it on a slope? Is it on a mountain? What does the terrain look like? And if I do this here and kind of scroll around, it looks pretty flat. Looks very flat. Cool. You can kind of see the mountains all around. It's got beautiful views, 360. All right. Of mountains. Breckenridge is up there to the north. Okay, cool. One of the other things I wanted to show you was you can also look at overlays, and you can see if it's in a floodplain or not. And it's not, but if I click that, you can see, if it was in the blue area, you see if it's kind of in a floodplain. And this might be a floodplain once a year if it gets a lot of snow or something, I don't know. And you can see wetlands. So this is not a wetland. I promise you that. But if you're in Florida, these things become more important, don't they? If you're looking at making an offer on this property, and this guy wants us to send him an offer, it might be a good idea to know whether it's in a wetland or if there's a stream that goes through it or if it's in a floodplain. But this one is not. And even if it was something like in this area in Colorado where it's dry and arid like this, that would be a positive. That would be good. There's water that runs through it, okay? So then what we did is we put his information in here. This is FreedomSoft. And I'm going to show you how we actually come up with an offer and how we send the offer to the seller using FreedomSoft. FreedomSoft's the tool that I use and recommend. And I really highly recommend you use some kind of CRM, some kind of tool, but this makes everything so much easier for us. So when the lead comes in, the guy tells us from his voicemail, the letter reference ID is Park 5324. That is the code that we had on his letter. So like a lot of these properties don't have an address. It just has a street maybe, and then we know the city and the zip, but we don't know where it actually is located. But when we have the letter reference ID, we can pull up the GPS coordinates. And from those GPS coordinates, we can pull it up on Google Maps and we can get right where it is. And you can even do 3D images on Google Earth as well, although it's not as friendly as MapRight. I don't like it as much. But here too, the other thing is you can drag the yellow dude around and you can see where there's any street views of the area. I'm going to drop it right there. And this is what the area looks like. So this property we're looking at is right over here somewhere. But this tells you, yeah, okay, there's power they could tap into if they wanted. You don't see any other houses out here, so it's pretty dry and arid. There may be some people camping in RVs. The cool thing about these areas is very few restrictions. So somebody who buys this land can probably put an RV out there. They can do whatever they want, pretty much. Okay, but this is what the area looks like. These are things we're looking at when we're going to be making an offer. We're looking at, what's the area look like? What is out there? Now, the other thing then is what we're going to do is when we download a list from Price tells us what they think we should offer based on nearby comps. We thought we could sell this for, if we did get it, Price put the market value at about 25 grand. We thought, well, we could sell it for 21. And again, the seller thinks it's worth 30. But when we make offers, we're making offers at 25% generally. 25%. When we are out in the country, way out in the sticks like this, see how far away it is from Denver, Colorado Springs. Typically, when you're out 1 or 2 hours away from the big cities, we're going to offer 25% of what we think the property's worth. Once you get closer to the city, we're going to offer maybe 40 or 50% of what it's worth, because properties that are closer to the cities generally are worth more. So our goal is to make at least a $10,000 profit if we're going to sell it for cash. Okay. If we're going to sell it for owner financing, our goal is to get our money back in the first year. So that's going to help you a little bit. When you're an hour, 2 hours away, real simple rule of thumb. This is very, very easy. It's not complicated. We're going to offer 25% of what we think the property's worth. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying today's video and you want to get into land investing as soon as possible, I've got a free gift for you. If you click right here, I'd like to give you 2 land flipping documents that my 2 teenage sons and I have used to generate over $150,000 in profits flipping vacant land part-time on Facebook. You can do this part-time without having to talk to sellers, without using any of your own money, and it's one of the best ways to get started and succeed in real estate investing today. Just click right here if you'd like to get it for free. Otherwise, let's get back to the video. When it's closer to the city, if it was out here in the path of growth where they're going to be building homes someday, or maybe, we're going to offer maybe 40 to 50%, as long as we're making a $10,000 to $20,000 wholesale fee. But when you're out here, 25%. And I'll show you why. Now let's look to see where this house is. This is important. If I zoom in a little bit, you see that town Hartselle right there? I know it's hard to read. It's really small, but it's called Hartselle. This property is kind of southwest of Hartselle, right? Remember, it's 4.7 acres or something like that. So let's go to the Zillow. And this property, the zip code of this property is 80449. This is a zip code where the property is. I'm going to remove boundary, zoom in. Remember, my property is right around this area. So what I want to do is get that, where that property is, I want to get it in the center of my map. And I'm going to go to solds, make sure I'm just vacant land. And I want to look for properties that are, so it's almost 5 acres. Now I can't do 5 to 10 acres. My filtering has to be 2 to 10 acres. All right, sold in the last 6 months. Now there's 342 comps. I need to zoom in to get a little less. Now remember, my property is right in the center of this map. What's the first thing we see here? Now I still have 105. Maybe I zoom in a little bit more. Or what you could do is you could draw. I want all of the properties that are kind of like south of Hartselle. I want to ignore the other properties up here. All right. So I'm just in this area. Now, again, remember, you're not going to get as many comps when you're looking at land as you do with houses. But I'm looking here in the last 6 months. This property's 5.5 acres, 2,200, 5,500, 7,800, 9,000, 10,000, 10. A lot of them sold for 10,000. Almost, this is really important to understand. Almost more important than sold are your active listings as well. Let's go to actives and let's do days on Zillow. It needs to be any, because if it's left at 6 months, that means it's been on Zillow for less than 6 months. You want to look at all of them because there's going to be a lot of them that have been on for a long, long time. And I'm sorting this from low to high. All right. Now, what I'm doing here, this is really important to understand. I'm looking at this thinking, all right, what can I sell my property for? This guy thinks it's 30. If I was talking to him on the phone, I'm going to ask him, why would I want to pay 30 grand for your property when I can buy these other properties here for 14,000, 14,000, 14,000, 15,500, 15,500, et cetera, right? I want to make sure when I'm selling my property, it's at the top of this list when it's the cheapest property there. Remember, write this down. We make our profit when we buy, not when we sell. We make our profit when we buy. And when you're specifically on Zillow, this is important to understand. You're going to see agent listings here and for sale by owner listings here. And when you're selling your properties, you got to be aware of this. In Zillow now, people just never click on this link right here. They do not look at the FSBOs. So if you're selling a higher end property, maybe 50 grand or more, you do not want to list it for sale by owner. You want to list it with an agent. And I recommend doing a flat fee listing. And if you go to brokerless.com, you can hire agents to do a flat fee listing for you. So just for $500, or actually 99 or 150 or 188, you can find a flat fee broker who can put it on the MLS, which means it gets here in the agent listings. Does that make sense? All right. So anyway, yeah, I want to sell. This is how it works. It's real simple. All right. I'm going to sell mine for what? I'm going to sell mine for $12,500. Okay. I'm going to get my calculator, 12,500 times 0.25. I'm going to offer 31.25. Okay. That's it. Now, if I offer 31.25, let's remember this spreadsheet I showed you guys before. So this is property. It's 4.89 acres or something like that. So if I think it's worth 12,500, I'm going to buy it for 31.25. If I sell it with owner financing, I'm going to sell it for about, let's just say I sell it for what it's worth. Now I'm going to sell it for 14,000 with owner financing. If I'm selling it with cash, I'm going to sell it for 12,500. All right, so I'll make a $9,300 profit, but get this, this is where the real money is. If we sell it with owner financing, you're going to make $14,000 profit instead. And your first year cash on cash return, this is so important to understand this number. First year cash on cash return, 149%. So if I sell it with owner financing for $14,375, 5 years, 9% interest, I'm going to get 10% down. You're going to get $269 a month cash flow. Where else? Now you're buying it for $31.25. You're getting $1,438 down payment. So you only need to have cash out of pocket of $1,688. You only need to have $1,700 in cash to be in this thing. Where else, guys, can you get $269 a month in cash flow for only $1,688? You can't. Without tenant hassles and headaches. I mean, again, I could go on and on about the hassles and frustrations of owning rental properties. Land is so much better. All right, so my total profit on this deal, if I hold it and sell it with owner financing, is going to be $14,000 instead of $9,300. Now, $9,300 is good. That's still really good. That's, what I recommend is, like, as you do this, maybe the first deal every month, or you're, one out of every 4 deals, you wholesale it for cash. So you can get cash now, right? You do one of those a month. You do one of these a month equals this times 12. Yeah, that's about $112,500 a year. But the real wealth is built when you start selling them with owner financing. And I'll show you why here down below. So my first year cash on cash return is 149%. With houses, your goal with houses when you're doing rentals is to get 10 to 15% cash on cash return. With land, you make much more. So the goal is to make your money back within a year or less. On this deal, we're getting our money back in 0.67 years. So if your goal was to make $10,000 a month in passive income, if you just did $8,000 a month in passive income, you're making 96 gross a year, that would be enough to quit your job. So if you just did 2 deals a month, it would take you 15 months to start making $8,000 a month in passive income. If you did 2 of these deals a month, 2 a month, in 1.5 years, you'd be having enough passive income. Now, there are expenses in this. You're going to have to pay for marketing. It takes some time. It takes some work to do this. But that's what, let's say your goal is $15,000 a month. It would take you 2.3 years to get to $15,000 a month doing just 2 of these deals a month. What if you did 1 deal a month? Take you 5 years. What if you did 3 deals a month? It'd take you 1.5 years. If you do this consistently, guys, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing 3 deals a month. Now, let's look at the numbers again here, okay? This is my numbers. So my average direct mail response rate is 3%, depending on the county, okay? And so number of offers to get 1 deal. I'm going to be conservative here. Let's say you have to make 30 offers to do 1 deal. And if your goal is to do goal of number of deals per month is 2 deals per month, how much direct mail do you need to be doing? You need to make 60 offers a month. 60 offers per month, right? And if we get an average response rate of 3%, so this is a number of letters to send a month. Now we send, for every 4 leads that come in, we send 3 offers. So about 75, about 85. I'll show you here what I mean. So 60 divided by 3%, we need to send 2,000 letters a month. Now let's bump that by, let's be conservative. Let's bump it by 20% equals this times 1.2. Let's bump it by 25%. So we need to send 25 letters per month. Okay. Then letters per week equals this divided by 4. We need to send 625 letters a week. You understand what I'm saying? Let's say you get 2% average response rate. Let's be maybe more conservative, because again, it depends on the area. We average about 3%, but some areas we've done 1%, and we've been averaging 1 out of every 20 offers get accepted. But let's say it's 1 out of every 30 offers that you send get accepted, and your goal is to do 2 deals a month. That means you need to make 60 offers per month, which if you're getting 2.5% response rate, you need to send 2,400 letters a month. If you bump that up by safety factor or whatever of 25%, that's 3,000 letters a month or $750 a week. Pretty simple, straightforward. It's a numbers game. That's what I love about this business. It's a strict, simple numbers game. One of the things I recommend too is it takes time to build that momentum up. You're not going to be right out of the gate the first month selling 2 deals a month, because it takes time to learn the systems. Once you get the deals under contract, sometimes it takes 1 or 2 or 3 months to even sell them. So, but once you get in this momentum and you get in the steady stream of things, once you've been doing this consistently for 2 to 3 months, and you're sending 750 letters a week, you should be averaging 2 deals a month. What do you guys think when I share that? Does that get you excited? Is that overwhelming? What do you guys think? I want to see in the comments. I want to see in the comments what you guys think of that. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. If you like my channel at all, please hit the subscribe button. Get the notification bell thing clicked so you can get notified when new videos come out. Really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, all right? Thank you.